Hello.
Hi, Mike. Ready?
Yeah, we still having some audio mishaps. Can't hear too good.
Yeah, you clear on this side.
All right. Well, let's kick things off. Good day, fellow Rotarians and guests, and welcome to this first meeting for the month of September 2022. This month, September is celebrated as Education and Literacy Month during the Rotary year. Today, we welcome our guest speaker, our guest presenter, Mr. Lionel Sands from the Ministry of Education. He's the recently retired Director of Education, and I'm sure his presentation today will be both informative and timely as this nation as a whole is back to in-person learning as the school year commenced just yesterday. Now we call on Rotarian Sheena to lead us in our Rotary Grace, which will be followed immediately by our loyal toast. Rotarian Sheena, floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well today. Please join me as we say the Rotary Grace. Almighty God, we invoke a blessing upon this occasion of Rotary Fellowship. Make us aware of the crucial significance of our meeting as we develop our friendship as the source of Rotary service. Service radiating from this community to the wider community and beyond. Fellow Rotarians, please raise your glasses and join me in toasting to the Queen and the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Queen Commonwealth Bahamas.
Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
All right, we'll now turn the program over to our Sergeant at Arms, Rotarian Wayne, for the official welcome.
Thank you very much, PP Mike, for that. Indeed, it's a pleasure to welcome all of you here, those of you here and those of you who are there. It's always a pleasure. We have, persons with us today, and I'm quite sure we have a number of you online, and we're always happy to be able to offer this model here at the end. So thank you here today. Now, do we have any Rotarians or any guests of any Rotarians on call? We like to I could just say hi to us. We like to show that all of our guests, very Rotarians, very.
Good afternoon, President Chantel, fellow Rotarians and guests, Charlene Kearney, Rotary Club of New Providence. Always a pleasure to be with you all.
Welcome, Charlene. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, President Chantel, fellow guests, PAG Carla Card Stubbs, Rotary Club of Nassau Sunrise. Great to be here this afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Rotary Sunrise. We're happy to have you here with us as well. Thank you so much for taking time of your busy schedule to join us. Anyone else? Do we have any guests on the call?
No guests on the call. Well, we all among fellow Rotarians and we all among our fellow brothers and sisters, and it's a pleasure to have all of you here And as we look forward to our great presentation by our guest speaker, hope that you will continue to enjoy our meeting, and I should be back. Thank you so much. PP, Mike, carry on. Thank you.
Go ahead,
Go ahead,
Michael.
Michael.
All right, Chantal, you ready? We will now, following this official welcome, we'll have the club's announcements and weekly remarks by our club president, Chantal. This will be followed by remarks from the RCN committee chairs, giving us our regular weekly updates. President
Okay,
Chantal.
good afternoon. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today for our weekly meeting. Every week we seem to have a different challenge when it comes to our technology. So in the room, we have feedback. I hope you're not hearing that feedback on Zoom today. But we do have a few announcements. We want to make sure that we get full speech from our speaker as well. So I don't have a lot to say today. PAG Carla, I know you wanted to have some time to actually talk to the club about the raffle because I know it's coming up soon.
Yes, thank you, President Chantal. Thank you for the opportunity and accommodation. I'm not sure if everybody can see this poster, but it is to remind the Rotarians of the Rotary Club of Nassau and their friends that the grand raffle is on, our first ever, the inaugural raffle. We've had a few challenges, so we've had to push it back. We do have a new date, and the new date, final date, is October 1. So wanted to encourage you to keep pushing the tickets. The push now is to have persons online to donate online and to buy tickets online. Why the new date? Because we had technical challenges. The new date also allows us, though, more opportunities to sell. And I do want to encourage you that it's not just about selling the raffle, it's about getting people to understand what we do as Rotarians. September is Education and Literacy Month. You're doing a lot of literacy projects. How do we fund this? Through the kindness of Rotarians and the kindness of the public. So remember, we have the raffle tickets, $10. We have over 100 prizes. I don't think that's ever happened. So we want to push this as a grand raffle, only worthy of the Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas, all clubs participating together. We don't expect any physical tickets back. So the posters are to encourage persons to go online. You have posters and you have the small cards in your club. So I know you're not seeing this properly online, but please, Darren Bain is your point person. Please get it from him. The cards show you how to encourage persons to donate online. We'll be pushing a video out, but we have a QR code. I mean, we're technologically proficient. All they have to do is scan the code and donate. So please, our aim is $250,000. RCOB gets nothing from that. That will be split evenly among the clubs, but we need each Rotarian and their friends and their family to push the tickets. So October 1 is just around the corner. Please, when Darren Bain comes to you, please push the tickets. We're trying to set up stations on Saturdays for Rotarians to come out. So if you want to come out, we'll send a schedule. And it's also just to tell people about Rotary. So thank you very much. I'm very excited about how big it can be, but it can't be big without the help of the Rotary selling the tickets. Thank you so much. Thank you, President Chantal.
All right, thank you. And yes, Darren has been pushing the tickets. I believe he's been doing a good job with that. So we should have all of those. So none to return to you. Thank you for that push. So we have Rotarian Melanie now is going to give us an update on the project she's working on club services, followed by Micah.
Good afternoon. The Community Services Committee is presently looking to build a relationship with the female section of Magistrates Prison. And this by way of donating toiletries and other needs items. The items we are looking to provide are always needed by female inmates, but they are not provided by the prison. So they really depend on donations. And some of the items that we're looking to donate include sanitary napkins, toothpaste and toothbrushes, deodorant, soap, shampoo, conditioner, body lotion, hair grease, face towels, underwear in sizes small, medium, and large. Not so much extra large and 2X large, but small, medium, and large are the sizes that they use most of. And white t-shirts that are worn under the prison issued uniform. Medium, large, and extra large, but mostly large. And they're also looking for shower curtains. There are 3 stalls for shower curtains. And there's also a charity box for clothing, medium, large, and extra large. This clothing is worn by those waiting for a hearing. So they're not in the uniform as yet. So they wear casual clothes until their hearing. They'll get to go to their hearing. All right. Now, there are presently 60 female inmates at the prison that we hope to provide for. And we hope to make this presentation on September 20th at the prison. And at the presentation, there will be some of the inmates present, as well as some of the female officers. Now, until the 20th, there are several options. There are a couple of options to get the items to me so that we can make the presentation. And the first option is you can bring all of your items at next week's meeting. You can bring all of your items at next week's meeting.
Okay.
Toothpaste, toothbrush, soap, lotion, hair grease, white t-shirt, singlets for the inmates to wear under their prison issued uniform. But of course, I will be placing a reminder and an update in the group chat. But you can bring your items next week at the meeting. Also, I will be placing my cell phone number in the group chat, and you can message me or call me to arrange pickup or delivery of these items. So I look forward to our cooperation so we can really make this donation to the female inmates. When I toured the female section with CO Delavo, and the inmate said to me, please don't promise me. Please don't promise us and not deliver.
Yeah.
Because we are so used to people coming and promising and never delivering. And I told them, guess what? This is Rotary Nassau.
Mhm.
We are making a promise and we will deliver. So I expect to need a truck next week, Tuesday, to collect all the items that will be donated to the female prison, right?
If you're,
Hello?
let them know how to reach you, your phone number.
426-9955. 426-9955. Call me, message me to arrange pickup or delivery. We want to provide for 60 female inmates. And like I said, I want to be able to need a truck next week, Tuesday.
Oh, wow. All
To
right.
collect these items so I can prove to the female inmates at the prison that Rotary Nassau makes promises and lives up to
delivers.
them. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. I think Micah is online today.
Yes, I'm on. Can everyone hear me clearly?
Yes.
All right, good. Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. I trust that everyone is doing well. So for those of you that don't know, the Rotary Club of Nassau has agreed to partner with Blue Lagoon Island this year in hosting the International Coastal Cleanup. This is the largest event of its kind, and it's held globally on an annual basis. As we all know, ocean trash is a serious pollution problem which has affected the livelihood of people, wild and marine life, and our local economies. And so the purpose of this event basically is to raise awareness about the growing pollution on various beaches of the world. This year, the event is going to be held on September 17th. That is next week, Saturday, between the hours of 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And it's going to be at the South Beach Pools. So I'm asking all Rotarians, if you're available, to come out and please show your support by volunteering. Even if you're not available, you know, a friend, you know, a colleague, or anyone that would be more than willing to come out and assist, that would be greatly appreciated also. I would have sent out 2 emails last week providing more detailed information about the event. I would have sent out a reminder email yesterday also for those persons interested. You can go ahead and sign up on the website. The event is only for 2 hours, so there'll only be one shift. Currently, we only have about 4 to 5 persons registered, and I know we could do way better than that. We need at least about 20 to 30 volunteers for this event. So once again, asking each and every one of you for your full support as we partner with these various organizations, to bring awareness to issues and causes that are affecting us globally. Even if you're unable to make it, I would also appreciate, we have a list of items to be donated: garbage bags, pens, pencils, tote bags, water bottles, whatever it is that you can provide, whatever it is that you can donate. And if you're willing and available to volunteer, whatever it is, it would be appreciated. So if anyone need any further details about the event, or you can possibly reach out to donate any items that you would like to, you can feel free to reach out to me at any time. My cell phone number is 471-5055. I'll leave it in the chat, and I'll also leave it in the group. That's all I have. Thank you, Madam President.
Thanks, Micah.
Are we gonna have any more committee presentations, or do we move right into the introduction of the guest speaker?
No, we have
Can you repeat that? Not too clear.
members.
Apologies, Chantel, you're very garbled. I can't hear anything.
Sorry, blocking the camera though. Yeah.
We're not membership moment today. One second. Also celebrating all on the 7th, all tomorrow, and celebrating 8 years on Friday is our very own esteemed president. I'm celebrating birthdays. On the 10th, we have
Mega try it. I'm coming in, no, I'm not going to.
And on the 12th,
These are just America's every week is a different thing. Hold on, I think I got it. Nope, didn't seem to work.
all right. It's in person. Just wishing everybody a very happy anniversary and happy birthday. And also, our buddy program. I know that the team has been very actively involved in this and has been encouraging and motivating everyone to participate. So we have enhanced buddy program. Each of you should have received an email in this regard. I'm not sure if you would have gotten a WhatsApp yesterday. If you haven't gotten it as yet, we'll be getting a WhatsApp that will be outlining exactly what it is that you're volunteer.
All right.
Yes. And we're encouraging participation and camaraderie in these programs. So we're looking forward to seeing each one of us myself actively participating as much as possible. If you have questions or concerns, you can always reach out to one of us at the membership of the museum. Tino, okay, Tino. Also, there will be today, we will be sending around a link to you for those who would want to register, I'm sorry. Registration. Okay, and that's a point where you can engage again with members of the club and with Rotarians from the other clubs. So additional information will be passed on to you in that regard. Okay, thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you. And you see, Larry brought birthday cake for you. I do hope you enjoy some of his birthday cake.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. You're still not hearing? Yeah. Because I'm using your. Hey, you want me to mute you again? Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. All right, thank you so much for that. Is our introduction of this, Shelby is on.
Okay, I think you would have said shall be the introduction of the speaker. I can't hear the audio in the room. So is that what you said? Give me a thumbs up and I'll go for it. Okay. Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians and guests. Mr. Lionel Sands, a native of Greencastle, Eleuthera. Mr. Lionel K. Sands began his service in the field of education in September 1971. In 1972, he enrolled in the Bahamas Teachers College, where he earned his teacher certification. Subsequently, he earned his Bachelor of Education degree, a Master of Science degree in Organizational Management, and an Advanced Certificate in Management and Human Resources. In 1986, Mr. Sands was appointed as an education officer in the Department of Education. Following a succession of promotions starting in 1994, he was promoted to Director of Education in 2009. With this appointment came the responsibility for the Department of Education, oversight of the orderly development of public schools, responsibility of being Chief Technical Officer to the Minister of Education, and the Registrar of all private schools in the Bahamas. Mr. Sands serves in the field of education for 47 and a half years, leaving at the mandatory retirement age of 65. In his retirement, he currently serves as an associate pastor of the Christ Community Church, New Providence. As Rotary recognizes September as Education and Literacy Month, please join me in welcoming Mr. Lionel Sands to discuss the importance of literacy and education in national development. Let us welcome Mr. Sands.
This most important in education in Africa. I choose to do is to speak on is literacy and education and by language, how we see literacy and education, how do we embed literacy responsibility. So I love education. Literacy is the way we interact with the world around us. The way we interact with the world around us. How we shape it. We are shaped by it. That's literacy. Our interaction with the world around us. How we shape the world around us. Now, the world around us shape us. This is best. Literacy is the ability to think, write, listen, and read. That's a complicated effectively. Makes sense. Education is progress. A lot of instruction, not this systematic instruction, given how which is equally important and forms the basis of our interaction with the world around us. The main purpose of which is the integral development of people, in addition, it becomes a society and the duties. Literacy and education are from time to time used interchangeably, but are inextricably joined together on a very process of national development. Notice I'm talking about literacy and education. This is a third component which is so very, very vital. Wisdom is. And wisdom is the proper application of knowledge, skills, and attitudes, achieved from wisdom and socially maladjusted. Say that again. Wisdom is the proper application of knowledge, skills, and attitudes that the thing is lightened from the misinformed and socially maladjusted. It is insight that comes of one's judgment and of what is important in life. I want to stress this: parents are critical in passing on values because children internalize their parents' rules and development is therefore impacted by the values of the community. It is a process of socialization where children are taught and practice respect for one another. By the way, we have a serious problem with socialization in our country today. It is a process of socialization where children are taught and practice respect for one another. Money and according to I remember when I was growing up a while ago, you couldn't pass anyone without saying, good night, sir, or ma'am, or thank you, sir, or thank you, ma'am, or excuse me. You couldn't pass anyone without doing that. His executives look at you. If you say something to somebody, just didn't say good morning or good afternoon, and being now the social crisis in our community is a terrible thing. Education is important. Is saying it to me. Spread from the home to the school and the church to a wider community where everyone sees the other person is valuable. And so, truth is, when we look at each person as a valuable member of society, when we're seeing the fruits of literacy and education and wisdom. If you take look at your own, I suppose your own interaction with people, young people, and you wonder, are they literate or educated or society that works with wisdom? And the challenge is we are hard pressed to say that we are, no matter how much we talk about the things that we do in education. If I were not what's included and behavior, people are usually predisposed to adopt the values they're raised with. When I was in college a long time ago, teachers college, I was told by one of my, he said this, children tomorrow as they live today. Meaning, as we see children living today, that's how their tomorrow will be. And so it is critical then for us to make sure the way children live today is the way we would desire them to live so that tomorrow would be a better place. People are usually predisposed to adopt the values that they're raised with. They also tend to believe that those values are right because they are the values of their particular culture. Hence the need to include our cultural identity in our national development plan. One of the problems we face today why the principle to treat our culture in practice we often overrun the cultures that are into us. Our identity has been altered because of this phenomenon has birthed a counterculture that has reshaped our behavior patterns. There are too many angry and impatient, self-centered people arising from this clash of culture. Drive around every single day. And people get so angry. the patient, like the old people say, a short patient, a short queue. And you wonder what's the problem? What has somebody done to these people? You can't, listen, tap your home in the back of someone and they're talking to their friends. You do that, you are in trouble. That's a deviation from the culture that we've been known as. In fact, a long time ago, they used to say in the Bahamas, you come to the Bahamas, it's a roadside, peaceable people who love people. And we seem to be the opposite of that today. I don't know why, but the clash of culture is one of the reasons why we are the way we are today. Literacy and education are two pillars of importance for national development. While there are no formal instruments used to determine literacy in the Bahamas, there are indicators that put the rate of literacy in the Bahamas at 97.6%. I cannot believe that. The literacy rate is 97.6%. We should see a greater spin-off of our literacy. If it's at 97.6%, and by the way, this is according to the World Population System, the Bahamas ranks number 7 in the Caribbean in 2022, the literacy rate, which is very high. My problem with that is, do not see that being lived down in our people with such a high literacy rate. It's only 2.7% from 100%, according to this statistic. Education is considered an economic good because it tends to raise productivity and creativity, as well as stimulate entrepreneurship and technological breakthrough. All these factors lead to greater output and economic growth as we consider national development. The Bahamas benefits in its national development through competition. All of us are aware of that. There is a competition going on in every country. And we are part of that, particularly in international trade. Globalization and international trade requires the Bahamas and its economy to compete with other countries. This competition globally requires the Bahamas to be cut above its competitors in order to thrive. A highly literate and educated populace is critical to this competition. We know that economically successful countries always hold competitive and comparative advantages over their economies, over other economies that are poorly literate and inadequate. A typical developed economy will include various industries with different competitive advantages in the global marketplace. The education and training of our country's workforce is a major factor in determining how well the country's economy will perform. This is well for our national development. Therefore, it is important for education and training to be at the forefront of national development. Education involves training human personnel, the ability to hold competitive advantages over the economies of other countries. In the Bahamas, as well as in other countries, we may have to achieve this through incentivizing training through tax breaks, providing facilities to train workers, or a variety of other means designed to create a more skilled workforce. Since we in the Bahamas are limited in a number of industries at our disposal, we can focus our attention on those industries that we have in which skilled professionals are more readily trained in the industries we have at our disposal. You know, and I know, in many instances, when we have companies coming in to do business, we have so many people from outside of the Bahamas to do things that should be done by behavior. We've seen that with the construction of the hotel. And we brought in so many people to do construction work. The challenge we have is we have a workforce that is not skilled, which is a part of the education process. And so we need to do something better with our training of our people with our skills gap that we have, how we get people to be better skilled in the areas that we need them. Difference in training levels are a significant factor that separate developed and developing countries. As a developing country, education is critical to our national development. As such, careful planning for short, medium, and long-term success is necessary. One plan is to reshape our system to prepare students and not school for students. I want to say that again. One, careful planning, short, medium, and long-term success is to prepare students for school and not school for students. Over the past 49 years, that is precisely what we've been doing, have not been doing. And we have, because of this, seen minimal success. And I'll get into that in a second. We can maximize our success in education if we begin the process of preparing students for school. What does this mean? Simply put, cease to practice the practice of placing students in school where they're required to pursue a standard set courses, many of which are not congruent with the aptitude nor the career interest of students. Let me say that again. I was a teacher in the system, teacher, administrative educator for 47 and a half years, and we grappled with this. We've made the 172 schools in the Bahamas that we have, all of them carrying the same program. We have 50,000 public school students. Every single one of them go to the very same school to get the very same bits of information, when most of them, for example, when we look at the numbers of students who are inclined through their career interest, who are inclined to go the route of career and technical education, vocational education, it's about 70% of our students. The other percentage, which is about 30%, are those academic students who would go the route of doctors, lawyers, and that sort of stuff. But here's what we've done over the last 49 years. We've made everybody go into a system where you prepare to be a doctor, lawyer, and a chief. And so what happened? Students who are not so inclined, whose aptitude may not necessarily be in that area, they become frustrated because you're forcing them to take in something that they do not want and they're not interested in. And so the challenge is, we have been preparing schools for students, because every school has a set stuff. And we say to child, you go right in there and you deal with set stuff. And if you don't deal with set stuff, we will deal with you. That's the challenge we have, and we've been having that for 49 years. And that has to change. If it doesn't change, then we're in trouble. In fact, we're in trouble today. You see, literacy and education are important in national development because both are vehicles that facilitate and enlighten community. This enlightenment forces a change in attitude, mindsets, even in educators. Because as an educator, I must know that children learn differently. I must know if I get the best out of any child, that child must have an interest in that thing that I'm giving him or her. And so when you see the disinterest of the child, then you know that something needs to be done to get the interest of the child. And so this is the problem we have with education. Here's why we've had that. For those of you who've been around as long as I've been, or even longer than I've been, in 1954, we developed a national exam called the Bahamas Junior Certificate Exam. It's a credentialing exam. It gives you a single subject certificate. It says that, okay, you studied in a subject and you got A, B, C, D, or F in that subject. And if you got an F in that subject, you might fail that subject at BKC. It was a 9th grade exam. It still is a 9th grade exam. But back then, since school, the mandatory age of school is 14, then you could just leave school after age 14, with the BKC or the lack thereof. Then there were some people in the Bahamas who had the means to be able to send their children beyond age 14 school. And most of these were the minority population in the Bahamas. And so these people, they were able to send their children to school and they were able to sit GCE exams. Anybody sit the GCE exam? Like, okay, here's the problem with the GCE exam. Here is the problem with the GCE exam. It was designed for 15% of the top students in the country. It was designed for 15% of the top students in the country. And so those 15% were the ones who would receive those good grades and they were able to go to college, either through their parents having money or sponsors. What happened to the other 85% of the students? Whatever. And so we decided, here's what we did. We decided we would make the GCE our exam. We want everybody to be the 15%, including the 85% that would never be that. And that is how we've been working from 1954 up to 1991, trying to make everybody a GCE quality student. And so many students suffered. And you're talking about national development. And the truth is, prior to 1980, we didn't have high schools like we do now, where people go and enter any high school. We have selected high schools. Everybody knows that. I attended, after I came to the Lutheran, I attended Harrow Secondary School, just opened up in 1968. I attended that school, okay, to do my GCE, by the way. And then 85% of my colleagues were living in Green Castle because they couldn't get to that because they couldn't do GCE. And so that was the challenge that we had. And so here's what we should do. And by 1991, I recall when the minister at the time, who was Paul Allen, he decided that this needs to change in 1991. And so he went away to Cambridge, look at GCE exam, see what the challenges were for the GCE exam, and then use that along with something else to make sure we capture all of the students in our school rather than the 15 to 17 students in our school. And when we went to London, London said to us, we are ceasing the GCE exam because the last GCE exam was held in 1992. We're stopping the GCE exam and we will take the GCE exam and we will change it to the IGCSE, meaning the 15 to 25% of the students who would make it, who would qualify, and the 85% would be the CSE students. Anybody ever did the CSE exam? But that exam was designed for the students who would be going in a technical vocational area. And so they married the two exams, GCSE exams. And so that's where we got our BGCSE exam. So the BGCSE exam took into consideration those 15 to 20% students and the 85% students who were to go into the other direction. And so now the challenge we had, and we're talking about education and national development, the challenge we had was this. Nobody was concerned with the CSE group of students between the 85% because everybody were looking at the GC. And so the GC was only 20%. You say everybody else failed, and that was not the intent. That was never the intent. The intent was you take a child, and that's the reason why in the Bahamas, as far as national development is concerned, you take every child and you make sure the child is placed in a pathway, we call it school pathway, where the child's correct interest is the focus. And the only GC that the child should be looking at would be the English and the math. But all the other areas would be the area of their correct interest. And so once you were to place a child in his correct interest, the rate of failure would be so much less. But I have a problem, and here's the problem I have. The problem I have is every Bahamian parent wants their child to be a doctor, and a lawyer, including me. And so I have a son who is now 46 years old, who did not want to be a GC child. He wanted to be the CSC child. He wanted to fix engines and things like that. I said, boy, you have to be a doctor. I spending all this money, I'm the director of education. You will be a mechanic. Boy, left school. He left school because his parents decided that he should be a doctor and he didn't want to be a doctor. And the truth about it is, he didn't go to school for mechanic work. But he's able to take a big Mack truck down, put the engine on the ground, and put it back up, and the truck is running like clockwork. The point I'm making is, we are also part of the problem of education in our community. So every parent want to know every single year, my child has gotten a scholarship to go off to become a doctor, a lawyer, or an accountant. Nobody wants to say, you know what, my child finished school and he's going to be a mechanic or a mason or carpenter. What? I wasted all my money for that secretary Queen's College. See, that's the problem we have. So the attitude and the mindset has to change, not only with the children, but with the parents, because we foster that kind of attitude. And so, what am I saying today? I'm saying we have to right the ship. How do we right the ship? We make sure, take every child is different, and look at the child's aptitude and his interest, and ensure that every child is placed in an area where his aptitude and his interest could be maximized, rather than forcing them into situations where they would fail. And so, friends, today, I just want to leave you with that. The truth is, we could be much better than where we are today. But we are not, simply because of our attitude. And the attitude is embedded in our culture, by the way. We talked about culture and also our socialization process, meaning if this household has no doctor in it or no lawyer in it, that household is failed. And that's the challenge we have. I thank you. Good afternoon.
Right, that's it for the director. What a powerful presentation. Real life, right home, right in our corner. I see Past President Stephen Yatana, but you can take some things in the parking lot. That you created, right? Right?
Yes.
So I do, Gary, right?
Yes.
All right, so we know that we have many questions, but in the interest of time, we're gonna save some stuff for the parking lot. So you, the director, okay. Now coming now to thank our speaker, is none other than Rotarian Shelby. Shelby.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Mr. Sands, thank you so much for your contribution. I've learned that educators have a challenge when a child is not engaged or interested. And the main challenges are attitude, culture, and our socialization process. So thank you so much for your contribution today at our club. We look forward to hearing more from you. And we thank you again for your contribution in education. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you have a director. So when you ask and coming now with our 4-way test, you know, carrying Raquel. President, he's a past president, recognize that.
very much. Thank you so much for your attention today. For the past, how long has it been now? We apologize for our technical difficulties. Thinking it's getting better, but we'll get better. We're working on it. We'll get better. Yeah. So thank you so much for having patience with us. As we work through this, we appreciate your attention always at our meeting. We have great information that shared with you. For those, for the audio, we share, hopefully you got it, you thought it, so we can share, so we can, get some of the good information that we shared. As Jane said, if you have questions, now it's time to ask the questions.
So we have some questions, questions for our Director of Education. Stephen. Yeah, a couple of people.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Look around the world. I wouldn't you have television, you watch all the YouTube scrolling in the house, they can't even walk. Kids, all that. I mean, the attitude we have here of that people that knowledge, and we don't want to know. Go.
Age discrimination.
You pay someone to come in. Yeah. Be confusing. After what it is. You look at the child, you say you get D, how you get D? I think I thought that I am trying to open every time. Of our options. If once it's a school, of course, it's the leader of the subject.
Okay, so say my phone, for example.
Yeah.
To be an officer.
Yeah.
You're out to have, I think. Was it three? With Martin, right? My two is with Martin, right? And if you don't have that, you can't be an officer. But you can come in without that and have a degree and get off.
With pressure, so I would put it together.
We had it, you know?
The challenge we have though is even today, they still believe that the DJC is sufficient enough to allow people. And until that doesn't put it with the status quo. And so what you're talking about is grade 6 and grade 9 and grade 9 and grade 12. And so we need to dispense of that. Because what should happen is that, and that's the reason why we have the high school diploma that we started. Yeah. The high school diploma is a system of study in your area of interest. No one should be able to say and not get a high school diploma. A system of study where you are accredited for the area of study that you have over a certain period of time, or certain number of hours. In other words, your mark in high school. You know, whatever you pass mark in high school at the high school diploma level, you have to have at least 300 hours of mark from grade 10 to 12. You know what I'm saying? At least with the one. It doesn't see BTC not a high school diploma. It can never be a high school diploma. It's only an exam that is for that particular subject. High school diploma has a whole lot of stuff involved with it. It was the process. It involved having to go out and do things to help people so that you would understand it as a part of the process. And not only that, the mark at the DCCS or the time that the time you don't necessarily have to study. And you go together, but you get a very good deal of that. And then each of the time, okay. Right. With the study of that particular discipline, where you have to spend 35, 40 hours in the study of that and prove in that study that by the end of that study, you've been able to maintain the level of understanding credit for that now, going an exam 1 hour, 1 hour exam, not the total of you at the end of grade 12. That in or low extreme level. We have in 2014, and you would believe it. We got an exam on the correct institution. So you don't have to study more. It's specially designed to determine your correct institution. All you have to do is come and sit. And once once it is marked, it gives you the indication of your career. If you're computer person, and see that. And so what we determined in 2014, every child in grade 9, we gave a career in authority. So we were able to tell every child what your career is. And guess what happened? What it does is it shows you that the child has more interest in anything than anything else. Without a shadow of a doubt. And so by that, we said we're going to take out all of those who have interest in this particular area and interest in this particular area. And we were going to take the 8 schools, high schools in the province, 2 high schools in the province. And we're going to make 1 high school. School for that particular area, because that's the area that you're in. Right. It doesn't matter whether you live in Yamapo or you live in wherever the other people. That's where you go to. You're going to take the teachers, because you don't have that many of them. All of the teachers for that discipline will be in that school, right? Along with math and English. And so the children who are in that area, that special career area, do not leave school because they have no interest. You see what I'm saying? That was the intent. What went wrong? What went wrong?
Oh my God. Yes, we are absolutely recording.
No, I wouldn't answer the question with the point of the got put back, and here's why we got put. First, we say, if we make this school a technical school for this particular discipline, then everybody will say that's only the dumb children going in. You know how we look? Yeah, yeah. What we used to do in schools, by the way, yeah, as a teacher, when we settled our class list, and we had a test that determined the aptitude, right? You know what we do this with children who are very weak. We say to them, okay, you go and you go and stop it. Yeah. You're the dumb child, so you go in these areas. Yeah. And so now the parents see that as a little. And so guess what happens? You make a school with those kinds of schools, and people will say, why do you send a children in dumb school? Yeah. So everybody wants a school in government high. Yeah. That was the challenge. What's our technical school? Technical and vocational school is absolutely necessary. Why don't have schools, all boys schools, all the. You can have those. I mean, there is no problem with that, but our problem is, in order to have the change the system, it causes for heavy lifting. It causes for a lot of work to be done behind the scenes. It has to be a lot of work by the kids. And believe me,
This is your ballot. Ain't nobody. Yeah, going forward without dominant force, boys and girls separately, it formed very well. And Nick was a good example of that. Yeah. Change, we don't like change, no. But what you spoke about, really basically about gifting. All of us come to the planet with a gift. Yeah. What you spoke about identifying that gift early in the child, and then pushing the child in that area of this thing. And of course, once that happens, miracles happen. I trust and pray that. I mean, those of you who are young children get all this more hanging back. Lord. Those of you who drawing now on the drawing board, I trust and hope that you will take these words seriously and identify them gifts, because sometimes the children are actually telling you what their gifts are, but you trying to push them in an academic. I want you to be a doctor. I want you to be a lawyer. And the truth be told, in this day and age, they are the ones who are making the money. I tell you that. Money's made of them fellas that you see who use in their hands. That's where the most of the money is made in the country. So it has to be a shift in mindset of what we do. But then, all that shit happened. It's historical why that happened. When people of color became empowered and enlightened. Yeah, they say that we want them soft jobs. They want this, they want that job that we want them soft jobs. And so here's the story. That's why the Bahamas now. Everybody wants a soft job. But Mr. Director, we want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for staying behind, entertaining the questions. Thank you for being upfront. Something when you retire, you're gonna lose. Yeah. So you speak the truth. Speak the truth. Escape the devil. Thanks so much. But let's give him a round of applause. Thank you so much. Good afternoon.
All right, enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Thank you.